Alright guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to tell you guys kind of my background and how I really got into Hotshot. This beginning part and kind of my prior, I'm going to really try and sum it up quick and go through that as fast as I can, so let's get to it. So, I came from a automotive family mostly that we all kind of mostly scattered out of, but I started out kind of as a shop rat, worked my way up, and really just to, long story short, I kept quitting these jobs unhappy, and I had come to realization that I really did not like. I loved working on cars, I loved taking things apart, but as a job I learned that I hated it. So I finally had come to realization that I didn't hate the place, I hated the field and the job. So I decided to go to welding school, and that worked out great, and I ended up landing a pretty good job at an energy drink plant very local to my house. It was pretty great for a while, but things kind of went downhill, and I that's and I'm here today doing working for myself and doing what I love. So I found out about Hotshot probably towards the end of my car working on career, mechanic and whatnot. And I had instantly fell in love with the idea. Like, I was obsessed. But I really never thought it'd be something that I could actually go through with doing, just because it's a big leap. And so I kind of dwelled on the whole thing for a long time. And, I got this last job at the energy drink plant. My parents, they brought it up to me, and we really just put this idea together to really go into it together, and with them being a part of it. And I figured, hey, what do I really have to lose? I had a couple nice trucks and a couple toys and stuff, but really, and at the time, I think I was single, and didn't have any kids, which now I have one due actually in a couple weeks. But what I'm getting at is I really didn't have much to lose. So I said, okay, I'm all in, all chips on the table, whatever I can do, I want to do it. So the months passed, and, we didn't really just dive right on. We didn't just go run out and buy a truck. We really tried to do some research, and even then we still made mistakes. And, I eventually, in the process, I quit that job, and, we ended up putting really everything together, and I was actually jobless for a couple months. We had to go out and, we went and bought the truck, we went and bought the trailer, we got a couple people as direct clients, and, I had to get the authority, and I learned all this stuff. I have no trucking background, and that's what a lot of people, are so surprised at. A lot of these people that I talk to at truck stops, like, I just talked to a guy, and he said, did you come out of a semi, or did you drive for somebody? Where did you learn all this stuff? And guys, it's in your hand every day. Your phone, and I got a laptop and an iPad, and man, everything is there. Everything is online. You guys can learn how to do just about everything. Whether it's how to do IFTA or load boards, or even if you got to start at the basics, how to hook up a gooseneck trailer, how to change a tire. You can find anything on YouTube. You can find anything on Google. There's websites, the FMCSA. You guys are able to do this without school. Do not waste your money. Okay, I think a lot of schooling is a waste. Trucking school, it's not a waste, but you can do it without it if you're a confident person. But all this stuff that I'm telling you, all the info, all the sign-ups, all the capital that you have built up is only half of it. Guys, you have to put in the work, and it's hard. It's a lot of hours. I can't even begin to tell you the stress that it is sometimes. Like right now, man, it's slow, so I'm not really too mad. And, I've had a lot of good weeks, but I'm sitting in a truck stop right now. I 5 hours away from home. I have nothing on my trailer. I can't find anything, and the only stuff that comes up is for pennies. So it's not easy to get into this either, especially in the beginning. A couple tips I have for you guys is unless you're coming from some sort of rich family or you have ridiculous money saved up, is one of the biggest errors I feel I made, and I made it really hard on myself for a couple months, was I didn't have a factoring company, and that got really, really tough. I was 3 months in, 2 months in by the time I got paid from some of these brokers, and which isn't right, but it happened. And so that, I feel like that was a really big error on my part, and which I didn't know. So I definitely recommend you guys getting a factoring company. Definitely shop around for insurance. Now, I will tell you that if you are new, fresh numbers, fresh CDL, and you're kind of young like me, you're gonna have to go through Progressive. They're the only ones that are gonna even look at you. And really, honestly, I thought this would be kind of a longer video, but man, after I got everything in place, I was able to get truck, trailer, numbers, IFTA, all that stuff finally in place after working a regular job. It's just, you got to get out there and you got to do what you got to do. And doing what you got to do, that might be sleeping on your back seat for 2 weeks. When I started, I had nothing. I slept on the back seat, and I think sometimes I had a pillow. That was it. And maybe a cheap blanket. Now I upgraded, and I kind of have a foam padding back here, and it's tolerable now, but you really just got to do what you got to do. I had no idea what I was doing. Well, to an extent, the whole driving part, I've always been a pretty, what's the right word? A very confident driver, even with this 40-foot trailer. I've hauled campers and stuff recreationally, and, that I was confident in, but it was like, I'd pull up to a receiver, and it's like, okay, where do I go? Or who do I talk to? Or, things of that nature. And you got to get out of your comfort zone and just really get to it. And I really thought I'd have more info on this topic of how I got into Hotshot, but man, it really just comes and boils down to is you just got to get out there. Once you have everything that you need, you just got to get out there and do it. You got to learn. You got to talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. That is the biggest thing that I see people. They don't want to talk to people. They're scared. They're shy. They're afraid of being judged. Hey, who cares if someone's rude to you? They're like, I'm not helping you. Okay, on to the next person. I'm gonna go Google it. I'm gonna go call somebody. You can't be shy. You really gotta. If you want to make it and learn, you gotta talk to people. And in some instances, you will have people, talk to you. And one time I was having a problem chaining something weird up when my first week, and it was kind of, I forgot what it was, but it was awkward chain up. Man, this guy came over and he showed me all different ways that I could chain it up, and there's always tricks to the trade, and some of them, once you do them, you're like, wow, that was so easy and simple. Why didn't I think of that? But it's all these little things that really start to add up and make your day easier. Hell, I've been using ratchet straps forever. Everyone, it's a ratchet strap. Ratchet straps don't even pertain really to Hotshot. People use ratchet straps for anything. Tying down a dirt bike in their truck or a fuel can. And to this day, I still have people to show me different ways to tie up the loose ends of the straps. You're constantly learning, and so simple enough. Guys, that's really how I got into Hotshot. I was working a crappy day job that I was miserable at, and me and my family, we made it work. We got the equipment, we got the authority, and from there on, it's up to you. It's not like, oh, well, he did this or he did that. It's all about what you did. What are you going to sacrifice? How hard are you going to push? How many phone calls are you willing to make? I have sometimes I call up on a load, and it's like, okay, boom, done. Here's Raycon. And sometimes it takes hours. You got to be persistent. Hey, I need to do this. Well, they were looking for a step deck. Well, why? And then, sometimes, like, that's a perfect example. They're like, well, they're looking for a step deck. It's like, all right, look, I got a Hotshot. I can scale 17,000 pounds. I have ramps. I have everything. I have chains, binders, PPE. I have everything to need to get this job done. And I can pick it up in an hour. Then they'll be like, well, okay. I really don't see the problem with that. You really just gotta work for it. You gotta hustle. And, that's really it, guys. you guys have any other more specific questions, just comment down below. I'm very open on YouTube. I'll answer any other questions or other stuff that you want to see. It doesn't really matter. Just comment down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, just give me a like and a subscribe. It really goes a long way. And I'll see you guys on the next one.